James, game week 25 is in the books, and I've got a very big smile on my face, and I think you might know what is coming. James is drinking whiskey because he's drowned in his sorrows. No, I'm kidding.
It's actually apple juice.
I was going to say, what you got there, apple juice? But James, 2 points in game week 25 for you, 6 for me. And James, I'll tell you where I got my points from. I got 2 correct results. I was able to get the Man City result 4-1, and I was able to get the Spurs result 2-0. So that's where I kind of got my bonus points and reclaimed it. The difference was 3 in James's favour. The difference is now 1 in my favour. I've reclaimed my crown for the time being, because as you guys know, game week 26 is on the horizon, and we are here for your predictions. I will just give the overall scores real quick. I'm on 126 now. James, you're on 125, so nothing splitting us here at all. Guys, before I go any further, and before I clip myself on the back of the head for forgetting, please drop a like on the video if you like what you see. Also, hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Sometimes the algorithm can be giving you our videos, but you might not be subscribed. So do scroll down, check if you are, and hit the bell as well if you want to be notified for when we post. James, we will start with you as per usual. Manchester City, Newcastle. Starting off with a pretty big game, to be honest with you. Newcastle just coming off that loss in the EFL Cup final to Manchester United. How are they going to bounce back? Man City putting 4 past, I think it was Bournemouth, right? Yep, Bournemouth. What have you got this one going as?
Again, 2 teams in like different, just on different wavelengths right now. We've waxed absolutely lyrical on how amazing Newcastle has been this season, defensively, what Eddie Howe's been able to do overall. But lately, Jack, they've been on a kind of a decline. And like, Jack, the fact of the matter is they haven't won in the last 4 in the Premier League, Jack. And the biggest thing for me, Jack, they struggled to score goals so many times this season. Like, they just haven't scored. They just haven't been able to score goals again against Man United in the League Cup. Yeah, they lost 2-0, but honest to God, Newcastle could have played another 90 minutes and they wouldn't have scored. And to me that's the biggest thing. I look at Man City and it's kind of stop, start and go with them. People are waiting for them to do what they do and blow teams away, and maybe they'll pick it up right now, but I can see Man City winning this game. I don't see Newcastle scoring. I'm going to say, Jack, this is going to be a narrow victory for Man City. I'm going to say 2-0 Man City.
I got 1-0. I'm thinking much along the same as you. I think that, again, Newcastle will start to think to themselves, right, let's get back to basics. What makes us good? What makes us dangerous? What makes this team dangerous, James, is not conceding goals and then putting away 1 or 2 chances and just winning a game. It looks comfortable, but actually the hard work's been put in the defensive third of the field. I think that they will be able to hold them off for a good chunk of time. But I think that the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, the likes of Erling Haaland, again, I feel like I say the same things every single week. Are these guys capable of putting 1 chance in the back of the net? You bet they are. You bet they are. So for me, easy 1-0 victory for Man City. I think they're going to dominate the ball. Newcastle aren't going to look that good. The one wild card is Alexander Isak. We know that when he gets back, and if he gets some fitness and some games underneath him, he can start firing, and maybe the goals will start flowing for this Newcastle team. But, until we see it, we need to see it, if you know what I mean. Next up, Chelsea versus Leeds. Chelsea at home as well, you'd start to think to yourself, wow, this must be an easy one. Surely this is just an easy victory for Chelsea, not in their current state. And guys, stay tuned as well, because James and I are going to have a conversation on Graham Potter and Chelsea as well. James, I'm finding it difficult to put any stock in Chelsea winning any of these games at the moment. So maybe a bit conservative, maybe a bit boring. I'm going to go 1-1 in this one. I have no faith in Chelsea, but James, the quality difference on the pitch just means that I can't go all the way in thinking that somebody like Leeds is going to come to Stamford Bridge and just take all 3 points. I don't know what you have, though.
At some point with the Chelsea team, something has to give, Jack. Something has to give. This is becoming beyond embarrassing now. It's joke. This game should be a straightforward victory for Chelsea. Think about it. At home against a struggling Leeds United side, you're thinking past years Chelsea easily. You go Diego Costa, Didier Drogba goal, Eden Hazard goal. First of all, you don't know where the goals are going to come from the Chelsea team, so it's hard to already predict. They struggle to create chances. They also struggle to score chances. I won't say that they struggle to create, because they do create a decent amount, but they just don't put the ball in the back of it. If Aubameyang starts, Jack, I can see Chelsea winning 2-1. But I don't know if he's going to start. So I'm going to join you. I'm going to sit on the fence here and go 1-0.
Yeah, it feels like that bridge has been burnt a little bit, and he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who's going to like being welcomed back now that they're struggling. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I don't know if you agree with that or not, but Rod, I will stay with you though, James. Arsenal, of course, we have to get your take first on Arsenal. Bournemouth coming to town, surely just a routine win for Arsenal, right?
I hope so. I hope so. But yeah, I think Bournemouth played the other day and were beaten comfortably by Manchester City, and I think Arsenal can do the same by a similar margin. Played the first game, we won 3-0, and I think we'll continue in the same form. I'm going to say Arsenal will be comfortable in this game. I hope so. 3-0 Arsenal.
I got the exact same score. James, I think that realistically what Arsenal will be looking at with this fixture in particular is, the week and a half they've just had to battle their way through, which can't have been fun at all. They're looking at Bournemouth at home and probably going, oh no, like we are good now. So I just think the goals are going to flow. Maybe a nice early one from the likes of a Saka, maybe Nketiah, Martinelli, somebody like that, and then the goals will just flow. Bournemouth are going to have to come out. Arsenal with more space to play with, especially at home. I think they'll win this one comfortably 3-0 too. Aston Villa versus Palace. James, I think you and I have kind of been underestimating Aston Villa a little bit recently. A lot of our points lost in these predictions have been betting against the likes of Aston Villa, who've been kind of proving us wrong in certain areas here. Crystal Palace coming to town again. I want to root for Crystal Palace, but they need to give me a reason to root for them, and that is not forthcoming at the moment. So in this one, especially Villa being at home, I'm going to go for, I know it's kind of a boring scoreline with the home team winning by a goal. I'm going to go 2-1 for Aston Villa in this one. Somebody like Ollie Watkins on the score sheet, and then maybe just one goal from the likes of, an Eze or maybe a set piece of a Palace player. Who have you got?
Again, this game screams draw, Jack. It just screams draw to me. It's crazy bit about Palace that they don't get beaten, and when they do lose, it's not like convincing. It's a narrow loss here or there, but don't know where victory is going to come from with Jack. It just seems like they've just kind of sailed through this season and basing on their success from last season, how well they were able to do. Villa on the other hand is 50-50. Unai Emery has some games you think, whoa, if he gets his team right, they're Villa are going to be a serious threat, and then there's other times when you're thinking, what's going on here? I'm just going to go for Villa because I do believe that they're picking up a bit of form. The Arsenal game, they're unlucky not to get something out of that. I wouldn't say unlucky because I felt we done enough to win the game. Obviously, going away to Everton and winning 2-0, I think that they can, grab another victory here. So I'm going to say 1-0 Aston Villa.
I like it. Right, we'll move on. We'll stay with you though, James. Brighton versus West Ham. Now, West Ham obviously coming off that 4-0 victory that kind of came out of absolutely nowhere. Is that something they're going to continue, or are they going to get stopped by Brighton?
I think if you're West Ham, you just need to start picking up wins and just get yourself as far enough away from that relegation zone. Because, Jack, with the players they have, they shouldn't be in this relegation race. They should be looking at that mid-table. Possibly challenging challenging for a European place. And the fact that they're in here is a bit weird because the additions look very, very positive in the summer. But massive win for them. Brighton, on the other hand, has been going up and down. I'm going to sit on the fence here again. I'm going to sit on the fence. No. I'm going to back West Ham. I'm going to back the Hammers because I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham. Tough one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got 3-1 Brighton. Look, I haven't seen enough in terms of consistency here for West Ham to think that this will continue. I'm still the guy who looked at the weeks before, and the weeks before he was getting burned by West Ham in these prediction shows week after week. They're going to have to do something to get my trust back, I'm telling you. But Brighton, excuse me, Jesus. Brighton, we know what we're going to get. It's a team playing above probably what they should be doing, but I wouldn't stop any of them to question it. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. Graham Potter's gone, Cucurella's gone, Trossard's gone. All these guys are kind of moving on. The results are still kind of the same, and they're right back, to kind of where they should be, which to me speaks to a cultural, dominance for this team as well. And I think the West Ham will struggle. Yeah, I think they'll score, but I think Brighton are capable of scoring 3, so 3-1 for me on that one. Wolves Tottenham. I think that game against Chelsea for Tottenham would have been a really, really good. I mean, I know Chelsea aren't playing very well, but I still think that if you're Spurs, the team, or even if you're a Spurs fan, you're going to be happy with beating Chelsea regardless of the situation that they're in, right? So I think that will boost the team a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen with Conte's health and fitness, whether he'll be back or not. But there seems to be a little bit of continuity. Also, I'm waiting for Dejan Kulusevski to start lighting things up again. It's been a little bit quiet. He's got the minutes on the pitch, but we haven't seen the final result just yet, and I'm wondering when that's going to start to kick in. I think, James, you in particular know how highly I think of him, and I think that it's only a matter of time until he gets back to his best. Maybe that will be this week. So I'm going to go 2-1. I still think Wolves keep it competitive, but I think Spurs will have too much. Who have you got?
The biggest factor of this whole game, Jack, biggest factor is, will Antonio Conte be on the sideline?
Right.
Because if he is on the sideline, then I might lean towards Wolves. If he isn't on the sideline, right, Tottenham victory. I don't know. It just seems to be this weird thing, Jack. Because he was there for Leicester, they got battered, Jack.
Right.
He wasn't there for Chelsea, they won comfortably. And it's this weird. It's a weird thing. I'm not saying Antonio Conte isn't picking the team, because he clearly is still picking the team and he has all the influence there. But when he's not there, it just seems to just work for them. But I think that they're going to get a narrow victory here. I can see like a late Harry Kane goal here. Both like Wolves ain't a team that like to trade, goal for goal a lot. I can see Tottenham just getting one goal in there. So I'm going to say 1-0 Tottenham, Jack.
1-0 Tottenham, yeah, I like it. Right, James, we're going to stick with you. Go down to the South Coast. Go down to the team that you and I love predicting. Southampton versus Leicester City. How have you got this one playing out?
It seemed the anomaly for Southampton was the fact that they were playing Chelsea. That's it. Like that's what it feels like. Leicester City, talk about coasting through a season. Damn, it looks like a lot of the players there is like giving up. I only remember like 2-3 seasons, or even 2 seasons ago, we're talking about Wilfred Ndidi, Tielemans, James Maddison, Vardy. Oh my days, this crazy stuff. Top 4. Could they even win the title? Where they are right now is a bit of a shock. But I like to think that they can go to Southampton and win. It just seems to Southampton that they're destined to go down. It's almost given up. They have a really, really young squad. Sacked their manager, and they're not sure what's the best thing for them. Probably the best thing for them overall is to go down to the Championship and come back up again. So I'm going to say Leicester City is going to win this game. I'm going to say 3-1 Leicester City.
3-1 Leicester City. Yeah, look, James, I got the same margin, but to me, I just don't see Southampton scoring. I know even though they're at home.
James Ward-Prowse free kick?
Yeah, hey, maybe. I wouldn't rule it out. But yeah, listen, I just think this Leicester team are better, plain and simple. And again, I think if anybody's watching any Leicester games, even on Match of the Day, you see how well the likes of James Maddison is playing at the moment. And again, Yuri Tielemans, as much as we want to kind of joke about the fact that maybe Arsenal didn't go for him in the summer or in January or whatever, this is a guy whose contract is coming to an end here pretty soon. Yuri Tielemans is playing for whether he's going to play for a club like Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, or whether he's going to play for a slightly, better team than Leicester, so he's kind of playing for his next contract and his future here too. So for me, pretty routine 2-0 victory for Leicester here. I just back them more and like what they have to offer a little more. Nottingham Forest versus Everton is a tough game for me to call. I really don't know what's going to happen, especially not at Goodison Park. We know it's Sean Dyche. We know it's an Everton team that are battling relegation, so we know it's going to be low scoring. Do I back Everton to beat an opposition team away from home, even by 1 goal? I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Nottingham Forest win here. Maybe it's not the prettiest goal in the world. Maybe it's a set piece. Maybe it's a deflection, something of that nature. I don't think this game's going to be much fun to watch at all. I would avoid it if I were you and it was on television. Hopefully it's a 3:00 Saturday game. But yeah, this is just not one I can look past. And I have no confidence, but I am going with 1-0 Nottingham Forest. Who have you got, James?
I got a opposite way, a 1-0 Everton win. You know, this is, when you look at it, Jack, this is an OG Premier League game right here. Nottingham Forest, Everton. You know, when you actually look at it, but Forest, I feel like they've got to the point where they kind of realize, oh, guys, from point of view of relegation, we're actually doing well right now, and I feel like they kind of relax a little bit, not realizing that at any point they can get dragged back into that relegation battle, and they're not even far off it. I just see Sean Dyche and this Everton team hasn't been great overall. They've lost, they've won. It's been a bit 50-50, but I think they can go there for straight, boring game against Forest. They can frustrate each other, but Everton maybe just nicking a goal off a set piece. So I'm going to say 1-0 Everton.
Yeah, look, that's absolutely fine. I'm kind of with you, and like I said, my lack of confidence in my 1-0 means that, James, I could very well agree with you if I'd woken up on the other side of the bed this morning. James, the blockbuster of the week. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Anfield, Manchester United, EFL Cup winners coming to town. Liverpool trying to turn things around. I think we're seeing glimpses of the team from old. How do you have it going, Anfield on the Sunday?
If this was at Old Trafford, easy, I would have a Man United 4 or 5-0 win, Jack. I would have really believed that. But I can't see Liverpool losing this game. I can't see Liverpool pulling out a stinker at Anfield against Manchester United. There's other teams that they can do it against, other teams. But Manchester United comes, Jack, it's the biggest rivalry in English football, and the fans know how big it is, and the players definitely know how big is this. Can't see Liverpool losing. Can't see Manchester United losing. I'm going to sit on the fence here, Jack, and I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0. Yeah, look, James, I don't blame you. Again, you make all the right noises and all your motivations are spot on there and your thinking's all correct and stuff. I'm going for 2-1 Man United, though. I think that they're going to go in. I think they're going to do it. Again, I've spoken to people about this recently. Anfield is a different animal these days. The hype and the beauty's not there. You'll never walk alone as a thing of beauty. Wow.
Someone to start the game. Done.
The moment the game starts, it might be a little bit more dead. Now, for this game, I'd be amazed if the atmosphere was dead. Surely everybody's going to be fired up. But James, this is a Manchester United team who could very well win the EFL Cup, the FA Cup, the Europa League. And James, there's a hint of a title push happening here as well. There's a few game weeks happening. They're third favourites still. I think that there's a lot going on here. It's this side of the things as well. Not just Marcus Rashford, but it's the mental side of the game as well. And Erik ten Hag has this nailed. You can see the personalities that he's brought into this team. You could see it in the final. I think they're going to absorb that first 20 minutes, wait for the crowd to go quiet, and Erik ten Hag's going to play his game. And James, let's call it a fact. Manchester United is the better football team, plain and simple. Better playing in big games, better playing in big moments. I'm going to bank on them to continue it. I don't feel super confident about it. 2-1 for me. There's just something in me that I think that will be the result. Final game of the week, James, a quietly really good game, sneaky good game, and hopefully a rivalry that maybe you and I can look back on in 10 years' time and be like, wow, this is all where it kind of started. Brentford versus Fulham, West London derby. Throw Chelsea out, they're rubbish at the moment. We'll throw them out. Brentford versus Fulham. I'm going to go with 3-1 Fulham here. 3-1 Brentford here. I'm going to go for Fulham to kind of get a little bit surprised, I think it's fair to say, by how good Brentford play here. Fulham, I think the Mitrovic injury or the Mitrovic lack of consistency in his play lately is harming them a little bit. He's not as like where he was from kind of the earlier parts of the season. I think that's damaging them a little bit. Fulham is still a huge prospect. There's just something about Brentford at home. They play with such confidence. I'm just gonna have them win this one 3-1.
Jack, it's hard to disagree with you there. The first game, this is actually their second ever game in the Premier League. The first game was played this season, was 3-2 to Fulham. So Jack is going for the reverse result here. I'm gonna go for same winner in Brentford, but I'm gonna say 2-1 Brentford. I don't see it being as of an exciting game, but I've just seen Brentford just being able to nick the victory. Since they've come to the Premier League, Jack, they've been interesting watching, like just something different. It's not great, it's not beautiful, but they find their way with balls into the box. You know, they're very direct. They got two strikers who not the biggest, but they're amazing in the air. So I have Brentford winning 2-1.
Guys, let us know your thoughts. James and I have got a couple of nice little disagreements in here, a couple of upsets as well that I think, but again, I think James and I are both thinking kind of along the same lines. I don't think anything James has said is too wild or crazy. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. I know I said it earlier, I am going to say it again. Drop a like on the video if you like what you've seen. In the comments as well, we want to hear your predictions. Subscribe if you like what you've seen as well, and hit the bell if you want to be notified on our videos as well. James, anything else from you, mate?
Guys, like, share, and subscribe, guys, and me and Jack will see you next time.